Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be focusing on sound deadening in the van. Now I know if you watched the last video I did say that this one would be about our first fix wiring for all the electrics, but the more I thought about things, the more I thought that a proper dedicated video specifically for the sound deadening was probably a worthwhile thing to do. So yep, that's what I'm doing here today, so let's crack on. Now of course there's the argument, do you really need to bother with sound deadening in a camper van? I mean, after all, once you've put your insulation in, once you put your wall coverings in, once you put all your furniture in, those in themselves, they'll do a great job of dampening any sounds out on the road or anything else for that matter. And then of course there's the cost of the material itself. It's not cheap. And we're trying to do a budget build here. We're trying to do things as cheap as possible but without cutting corners. So I'm going to be focusing on two things in this video. The first being sound deadening the walls of the van. Any panel that can potentially rattle or drum while we're driving along, I'm going to add some sound deadening material to that, and hopefully that'll kill that dead. And the second thing that I'll be focusing on is any struts, braces, ribs in the van that have either come away from the van wall or there's a gap between them. I'll be running a bead of adhesive just to seal that gap, bond them together and hopefully stop any vibrations. Right, this is the stuff that we're going with, and it's a butyl rubber, and if you go with the dedicated automotive stuff, which is expensive, you tend to find it in two formats. It comes in either sheets or you can buy it on a roll. Now a roll is much cheaper. Now if I'd known a few weeks ago what I know now, I probably wouldn't have opted for this stuff. I probably would have went with some butyl fastening tape, you know, the stuff that you use on your roofs. It's the same stuff and it's a fraction of the price. But anyway, this is what we got, so this is what we're using. So it's thin sheets of butyl rubber and it's got a silver faced inner lining, and then on the reverse of it, it's literally just a backing which can be removed to reveal the sticky side, which you literally just plonk on the inside of the wall of your van. It really couldn't be any easier than that. Any area that was to be sound deadened was given a thorough clean, and I degreased it using panel wipes. Using sharp scissors made short work of cutting the material to size. Beyond that, it was just a case of throwing it on. But I did find a cheap roller and sleeve made life easier when it came to pressing the sound deadening flat against the metal surface. Now it's probably worth mentioning that the foil layer has dimples in it which allow you to see which spots need more pressure applying. I have to say I only really have one complaint about this material, and that's that it comes folded, which results in a slight raised crease when you're trying to apply it to the wall of your van. You just can't get it to lie perfectly flat. In the grand scheme of things, I'm sure it won't make much of a difference, but I thought it was worth mentioning anyway. Now I'm sure nobody needs me to tell them that if there's one area that you should really concentrate your efforts on, it's the wheel arches. At the end of the day, the majority of the noise that comes through the vehicle is going to start from the road, isn't it? So everything that we can do to sort of limit the noise that passes through the vehicle by the wheel arches, the better. And even just slopping it on, it's made one heck of a difference to the noise. Of course, I mentioned in a previous video, the one where I was actually painting the van, that these Pro Deck rollers are so cheap and cheerful, but they do such a good job for painting the van, that is. But like I said, they're so cheap that they're perfect for this as well. So if we say that's about 30% coverage on that panel and 50 on that, give or take. Let's just compare the difference. There's not a great difference between the two, but when you compare unsoundproofed panel to just adding a little bit to it, that difference is huge. But going from about 30% to 50%, it's not drastic, the sound difference. You can see like the corrugated pattern that runs through the floor. My understanding is that they do that, one to strengthen the floor itself, and two, it acts as like a natural sort of sound deadener. Once I've added insulation to the floor and everything's on top of it, I don't think I'll need to add any like proper dedicated sound deadening to it, so I'm going to leave that. But the roof of the van, the ceiling, I've added just a few small pads here and there, and now seems like the perfect time to point this out to you guys. So if we look at where the rib meets the roof of the van there, you can see that it's came away. The adhesive, that bond's broken, it's become brittle, and it's just gave. And now the panel flexes above it, so of course when you're driving down the road, you'll get all that road noise coming from the ceiling into the rib and rattling, and it make a right noise. I mean, if we compare it to this one here, for instance, you can see that the bond there, it's still intact, and it's nice and rigid, and it's not going anywhere. So that'll be our next job in the van, treating all the areas where all the ribs and supporting braces and struts have came away from the walls and the ceiling of the van. Now, I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but let me just take a quick moment just to show you what it is that I've done with the adhesive. So as you can see there, literally any panel brace or rib that's got a space between that and the wall of the van, I've just ran a bead of adhesive down it just to bond the two together, just to stop any rattling or vibration while it's out on the road. And I've had to do it to a few, as you can see there. So I've done it to the main one there, the one above it, on the opposing side too, and down the bottom. And I've also got the main culprit up there. As you can see now, no gap between there, proper bonded, stuck together. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the job done now. That's the sound deadening added to the walls, and also the adhesive filled between all the gaps to stop any rattles. So I spent all that money on the soundproofing and taken all that time to put it in the van. I want to know if it's going to make a difference. So what I did before I even looked at the stuff was I chose a clear and sunny day, jumped in the van, perfect road conditions, got out there, got him up to 50 miles per hour, and I recorded the noise coming from the inside of the van. So I've added the sound deadening, I've jumped back in the van, I've gone back down the same road, clear sunny conditions, same as last time, up to 50 miles per hour, and I've recorded the noise from the inside of the van again, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see a difference. And this here was my setup for recording this little test, though it was my phone that was mounted on the little magnetic tripod and not my GoPro. Of course, the mic's low down, and as you've seen, it's nestled between the two inner wheel arches, so I'm sure that it's picking up quite a bit of additional road noise being so close to the source. So I downloaded a free decibel app meter for my phone. Obviously I have no idea how accurate it is, but even so, because I was using it for both passes in the van, I thought that it'd serve as a good visual representation of what was going on with the sound levels. I mean, you can see right here that on the first pass the reading's saying high 60s, and I'm sure you can hear all the rattles and bangs quite clearly. Now on the second round you can see that the meter reading's low to mid 60s. Now it's not a vast improvement, but it is an improvement nonetheless. And as for rattles and bangs, they seem to be few and far between now. They're not quite as severe. Being high up, what my ears can tell you that the mic can't is the ambience in the van feels different. It doesn't sound as tinny, there's less ringing, and overall it just sounds more robust, if that makes sense. We opted for this product because it was fairly priced when compared to its competitors, and it scored 4.8 out of 5 stars with over 2,000 ratings. On the manufacturer's website it does say that the material eliminates vibrations, reduces general road noise and the rattle of the vehicle, allowing for higher comfort, and that's what we've seen here today. It also goes on to say that it's not a 100% solution, and that its installation is only 50% of successful soundproofing treatment, and as I said at the beginning of the video, insulating the van would be the remainder. And that's the sound deadening taken care of, and I have to say I'm pretty pleased with the results. But you don't need to take my word for it. You've seen it, you've seen the difference, and hopefully you'll agree with me that it was worthwhile. And if sound deadening is something you're considering adding to your own camper van or motorhome in the very near future, but you're not quite sure if it's worth the time and the money, I'm hoping that this video can help guide you in your own decision. And I think that's about it for this video and for this section of the van build. Now, if you've enjoyed it, or you've taken the smallest bit away from it, then please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already and you'd like to follow along with the journey, you'd like to see more videos like this, then please consider subscribing. And until next time guys, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, then please give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more and you haven't done so already, then please consider subscribing. And don't forget to hit that notification bell down below so you know exactly when we put up a new video. And until next time guys, take it easy, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.